In Dragon Ball Super episode 53, we finally got to know Zamasu. Goku challenges him to a fight to verify his ki. As suspected earlier, his ki and fighting style does have similarities with Goku Black, but there's no solid evidence, so Beerus and Whis couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Zamasu vows to take revenge against Goku as he whooped his ass. Basically, he now hates the mortals even more because Goku defeated him. In the last scene, we see Zamasu's tea brewing skills degraded, symbolizing him turning into a pure evil. As we're getting closer to the climax of this magnificent arc, it is getting harder and harder to wait. Literally, I'm enjoying this arc so much I wouldn't even mind 3 episodes per week. So, since we don't have that option, let's break down the preview of Dragon Ball Super episode 54. First, let's check out the episode title and summary posted by Herms. Dragon Ball Super episode 54 title: Inheritor of Saiyan Blood, Trunks Resolve. With his son Trunks worried about his lack of power, Vegeta, Trunks is shocked at the huge gap of power between himself and Goku as he irresponsibly acts as if they don't even need him around. His father Vegeta is outraged. This week's Zamasu and Gowasu using time rings. In order to observe what happens to the inhabitants of planet Babari, the two of them use time rings to wrap 1,000 years into the future. What do they see in the future? So, in the next episode, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is going to train future Trunks. This is going to be intense. This is the first time future Trunks will see the God form. Goku's SSG-3 form was already a surprise enough for future Trunks, and he couldn't keep up with Goku. After failing to defeat Black on multiple occasions and after realizing how much stronger Goku is than him, he was already feeling helpless, and we could see his frustration reflected in his activities. Now, what is Vegeta's take on this condition? He is kind of pissed off that Trunks had to run away from Black. He is very prideful and he also wants future Trunks to be stronger. Now, future Trunks was in a disastrous world. There's no Z fighters left, so obviously he didn't even have a training partner, and after the start of Black Chaos, there wasn't even enough food to eat. So it's kind of obvious that he wouldn't be that powerful. He's not in shape. By the end of Cell arc, he was totally buffed up, but now he's quite slimmer. Technically, Vegeta and Trunks trained together in the time chamber back in the Cell arc, but at that time, Vegeta didn't really train Trunks. They were mostly training on their own, and Vegeta was more concerned about increasing his own powers. Back then, Trunks and Vegeta were more or less equally powerful, but this time around, it looks like Vegeta is more concerned about future Trunks, so this is going to be way better, hopefully. Firstly, future Trunks would probably feel even more helpless after seeing the immense power of God form. He will be like, I'm way outside the rest, I have no hope and things like that. Of course, Vegeta would keep pushing him till he crosses his limits. Now, the real question here is, what will be the outcome of this training? Will Trunks ascend a new form? Will he also become a Saiyan God? In the preview, we see Trunks is buffing up, much similar to his Super Trunks form in the fight against Cell, where he got extremely muscular and gained immense strength, but wasn't really in control, and thus the form proved to be useless. Could he be using that form again? Technically he surpassed that form, but could this be something new after Super Saiyan 2? Maybe something Trunks exclusive? But that is kind of unlikely. In Super Saiyan God or Blue form, a minimum amount of ki is vested and is highly under control. So this might be Trunks trying to replicate the God form of Vegeta under pressure, then left him unable to control his ki, resulting in uncontrollable buffing up. In regards of if Trunks will get the God form or not, one important question is, can Vegeta help him to do that or not? We know Vegeta achieved the Super Saiyan Blue form by training under Whis. Now, is it mandatory to train under someone superior like Whis to gain that form, or once you know that formula you can teach it to others? Well, there is no confirmation yet, but since Vegeta showed him this form, it could be possible. If not, what would Trunks do? I don't see him hanging around randomly waiting for Goku and Vegeta to kill Black. If Vegeta can't do it, he'd probably try to get Whis to train him. Personally, I believe it would be much better if Vegeta is the one to train him and help him achieve God form or some other new form. However, even if he's to transform in SSB, I don't believe that will happen in the next episode because Goku and Vegeta had to train a lot for this. If just one training session makes Trunks a god, it would be very inconsistent and illogical. I think the outcome would be something like Trunks fainting in an attempt of trying to transform into SSB. There's one thing though, it looks like Vegeta is going to try something similar to what he did with Kabe. First he made Kabe feel useless, even you could say he tortured Kabe, and just when he was on the verge of giving up, Vegeta started attacking him emotionally, dragging the best out of him. Kabe before this encounter had never even heard of the Super Saiyan transformation despite being strong. Just through one encounter, he made Kabe a Super Saiyan. Just imagine how much hard work Vegeta had to go through to become a Super Saiyan himself and how easy he made it for Kabe. So don't be surprised if something similar happens in this case. And they often highlighted how the half-blooded Saiyans has more talents. However, all that apart, I personally do not want future Trunks to get the God form. I think it would totally ruin the entire idea. This is something that should remain exclusive to Goku and Vegeta only. I don't want all Saiyans to go Super Saiyan God, at least not at this point. It would take away the speciality of the form and would decrease the value the name itself has. It is just not right. Everyone just shouldn't be a Super Saiyan God. Apart from flawed reasoning, I feel it would be boring to see all Saiyans doing the same transformation. We saw Super Saiyan Blue, that's cool, now let's see something else. I really liked how they decided to give Gohan the mystic form instead of going through the same Super Saiyan path in the Buu saga. They can do something like that with future Trunks, give him something new, give him a new transformation that will remain exclusive to him only. Perhaps with that Super Trunks or Ultra Trunks form with a very muscular transformation and this time with control over his powers. I have to admit it, he looks absolutely badass in that form. So I believe giving him a different transformation will be refreshing and will bring some variety to the show. That's that. In this episode, Zamasu and Gowasu will travel 1000 years into the future to planet Babari. You can probably guess the reason, something like let's use the time ring and find out who is right. We see Zamasu constantly tries to convince Gowasu that they should interfere in the matters of the mortals, but Gowasu is absolutely true to his duties. The interesting thing is, Gowasu doesn't protest the claims of Zamasu, rather he's basically saying we're the Kaioshins and we can do anything even if you're right. So I don't know, there could be some huge twist. What if Gowasu ends up siding with Zamasu? That is very unlikely, but I'm just bringing up a possible twist. Also, I made a separate theory video on this Zamasu Black issue. Since it is absolutely relevant, I'm attaching it here. Recently, in a leaked Dragon Ball Heroes cutscene, we see Goku fighting Black Goku in the future timeline, in a similar place where Trunks fought Black. Here is where it gets interesting. We also see Zamasu watching the fight, and it gets even more interesting when you realize Zamasu is wearing a green earring or Potara just like Black. Now, DBH doesn't represent the official anime series. They show a lot of crazy stuff like for example Super Saiyan 4 Broly. But while highlighting the Dragon Ball Super character, they usually maintain the design and basic idea. So since they showed Zamasu and Goku Black in the same place but separately, it strongly implies that it is true. It doesn't necessarily mean Zamasu isn't fused with Goku, it could be that future Zamasu is already fused with Black and now this Zamasu just arrived using the time ring. However, now I will turn the theory mode on and share my theory with you guys regarding this particular scenario. What happened here is basically a time paradox. This concept is different from the concept of time shown in Dragon Ball Z. Like Toriyama himself mentioned, it is going to be complex. So don't calculate it following the old system, this is something new. A proper example would be DC Universe character Flash. It is similar to the concept of the time Flash goes through with that mother murdered incident and all. A time paradox is an apparent contradiction or a logical contradiction that is associated with the idea of time and time travel. So you would think that Goku Black came even before Goku met Zamasu, so that doesn't make any sense, but in a vague way, that is what created Goku Black. As we see in Dragon Ball Super episode 53, Zamasu always had a desire to end all the foolishness of the mortals. He considers all mortals to be very idiotic and inferior. He just doesn't see the reasoning behind guarding, which is supposed to be his job. And then he meets a mortal by the name of Goku who whooped his ass and shattered all egos he ever had. Goku really got him bad. At the beginning, he was like, "Oh, you inferior being, maintain distance with me." And he was even surprised when Beerus asked him to go all out. And then he got defeated. It was really intense and I felt a bit bad for him in a different way. The troll was too intense, man. This totally destroyed Zamasu's self-image and reputation, and he already had a grudge against the humans, and this event in particular was the final blow. He was literally trained to be calm all his life and was thus able to hide the frustration from Gowasu. But as we saw, he had a completely different idea on his mind and in a way vowed to take revenge. This made him sure that his suspicions about the mortals are right. Now, we noticed that there's a lot of similarity between Goku Black and Zamasu in fighting style, ki, and even the thought process. But still, the dots are not connected. We have Goku Black in the future and we have Zamasu. Things are just way too messed up. And Gowasu is the Kaioshin who connects the dots in this theory. We know in Dragon Ball Super episode 54, Zamasu and Gowasu is the Kaioshin who connects the dots in this theory. We know in Dragon Ball Super episode 54, Zamasu and Gowasu will travel 1000 years into the future. We know it from the episode title as summary. So they will travel into the future for sure, but we don't know why. Maybe Zamasu will get into some big argument with Gowasu regarding how dangerous the humans might become and what they might do to the universe. And so he would be able to convince to travel into the future and see who is right. Zamasu will probably then see stuff that will further motivate him to interfere in the matters of the mortals instead of looking after. But Gowasu would keep protesting, so at one point Zamasu will kill Gowasu and will justify it in his mind as a sacrifice for the greater good. That is how he will get the green Potara earring Gowasu is wearing. And according to this theory, that earring has some significance. By using it, you can combine mind or control someone with mind, and you don't even necessarily have to fuse your body with them. We constantly see Gowasu tries to teach Zamasu how to be calm and control his emotions. We already know Zamasu is a fighting prodigy, but what if he is hiding much more power than what we see in episode 53? As we all know that he considers humans to be very inferior, so maybe he was using only a little of his powers. And maybe he is under Gowasu because he has immense power and Gowasu is helping him control it. As Gowasu has that earring which can be used to control another being, so if Zamasu gets out of control, Gowasu can stop him. At the end of Goku vs Zamasu fight, we saw Zamasu was again about to attack Goku, but Gowasu stopped him. So maybe that's what is going on. Somewhat similar to the concept of Broly, Zamasu finds that out and takes both the earrings. As he can't defeat the current timeline's Goku using the time ring, he roams around the future. Point to be noted that time ring can only be used to go to the future. Black was able to access the past timeline only because of the time distortion that even for a limited amount of time. So he keeps searching for Goku in other timelines in the future. Note that it is specifically easier for Zamasu to find out Goku because Beerus and Whis in episode 53 told him exactly where Goku is from. And that is planet 4032 Green 877 in Universe 7. So it wouldn't take Zamasu much effort to find him, and using the time rings he will reach that time of the future where Goku caught heart virus and died. He will find Goku's body from the grave and make him wear the rings, and thus will be able to gain control over Goku. Goku will get a life back but under Zamasu's influence, and because he dies before Zamasu could get him, he lost muscularity and become a bit skinny. So, this is how Goku Black was born. Zamasu is controlling him from a distance using that green earring, as we can see in the Dragon Ball Heroes new intro. Guys, this was just a theory based on what we saw in Dragon Ball Heroes leaked footage. It might be wrong, it could be just one of the many crazy things they show. And what I mentioned till now was mostly to fit the theory or according to the theory. However, I will make another theory on Zamasu and Goku Black considering a different scenario. And it is quite possible that Goku Black is already fused with someone or is something else, and Zamasu will just join him thanks to the sudden visit of Goku. What do you think about it? Comment your opinion down below and let me know. See you in the next Dragon Ball video.